Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy game day. It is Tinker time. My name is Matt from the Stone Down Sports Podcast. I am joined this morning by Kyle. Kyle, last week or maybe the week before, I tinkered, but I tinkered incorrectly. And I ended up losing. I outsmarted myself. And that's not something we ever want to do. And that's why you and I are here this morning, is to help out those folks who have those last minute lineup decisions to make, or maybe they're just unsure about something. We're going to help them tinker correctly. Learn
Right,
from my mistakes.
right. It's it's a beautiful Sunday for football. Um, Lions play today at the Ravens. I'm excited for that game and tonight's game, Eagles Dolphins for sure. Dolphins at Eagles, I should say. Um, Looking forward to seeing that game tonight as well.
It's going to be a fun
Um,
one.
yeah, and I think we've all like tinkered and you know it's helped or it's hurt, and we've all done it. And my best advice is usually your first roster decision, or if you're doing DFS, your first lineup, that's the one you should end up going with. I'll tinker with it and change, and then add up the points it would have been had I have went with my first lineup, and I would have won. So trust your gut. You know, don't don't
When you tinker,
start
tinker
Zach,
wisely.
don't start Zach Evans or anything. You know.
You don't think so, huh? You think he'd be somebody to sit?
Oh, he's most definitely somebody to sit, but I think Daryl Henderson and Royce Freeman are get most of the work there, according to reports. So he'll get sprinkled in a minute, but definitely somebody you don't want to deal with. Hey Nathan, how you doing? Good morning, or let's see, what do we got? Where is it? Comment. Why is it not work? There you go. Thanks. Which two wide receivers should I start in a standard league? Zay Flowers, Rashee Rice, Jacoby Myers, Deontay Johnson, or Christian Watson? Which
That's a
two?
good one. I think Jacoby Myers and Deontay Johnson are better plays in PPR. Rashee Rice gets a decent amount of targets, but he's really only running about 50% of routes right now, and he has a hell of a time holding on to the ball. It seems like anymore Lamar Jackson is really looking for Zay Flowers a lot, so he's
Yeah.
definitely in for me. And I'm going to go with Christian Watson going up against arguably the worst defense in the NFL. This is a get right game for Green Bay if they're ever going to have one, and especially for Jordan Love, who's kind of been no bueno over the past few weeks. But they had the bye week to get their mind right, and you couldn't ask for a weaker opponent to have to deal with coming off the bye. So for me, it's Flowers and Watson.
Yeah. I do like the Watson against Denver as well. They're horrible at defense against everybody. So I would agree with that. And then with the PPR as well. So I'm the same with you on that one. Rice is looking good. I'm thinking he's starting to take over that wide receiver room. At least that's what I believe. He seems to be I think he'll be the guy there by the end of the year.
That's a safe bet, and Mahomes does look for him when he's on the field. And it's a decent matchup, but I think Zay Flowers and Watson are just a little bit higher for me.
Yeah. I mean, it could Chiefs Chargers, that could end up in kind of a shootout a bit. I think they've had their last 5 meetings have all went 51 or over. So there could be some points there, but yeah, Zay Flowers and Watson this week for me as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Nathan.
Yeah, great
Appreciate you.
question.
Appreciate you hopping in to chat with us. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and like the stream.
Yeah. Yeah, we're here Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, recapping the previous week, and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, previewing the upcoming week's games. And then let's see what you got, Nathan. Was worried about Pat S. shadowing Watson and the wind in the Ravens game. Yeah, Surtain, and yeah, in Sean Payton's team there, his defense there, he does like to put Surtain as a, what do you want to call him, at a roamer? Like
Yeah.
he's covering usually the top wide receiver of that team. I get it. I just think Jordan Love's looking good. They're coming off a bye. They got some injuries there in Green Bay. But I still like the C-Watt play. How windy is the I didn't see. Is there a ton of wind there? Man.
Pulling that up right now. 16 miles an hour.
Okay.
I really don't worry about wind until you get around 25, 30 miles an hour. I mean, Lamar Jackson isn't the greatest passer in the world, but he does have a pretty damn good arm.
Right. Yeah. I just bookmarked that because I have never had the DFS weather bookmark like a moron.
Nice. Speaking of Baltimore, they get the Lions today. Lions are coming off just a hell of a performance, and especially by Jared Goff. I think it's going to be a
like
close
ARSB
one, but
in this
one.
game for fantasy.
For sure. And let's see if I can find inactives for that game. Marlon Humphreys was sick earlier in the week, and if he's out, that is definitely a big blow to their secondary. Right now, somebody like Josh Reynolds, if you need to start him, you can. But if Marlon Humphreys is out, you're feeling a lot better about that decision.
Let's see. The Ravens.
Wide receiver.
Still hasn't updated on ESPN.
Oh.
Due to an illness.
But still, I mean, if dude's sick enough to where he's seeking treatment for it, hence him showing up on the injury report, even if he plays, you know it's going to be at a diminished capacity as well.
But yeah, I was mentioning ARSB. I love them in this game. Like I said, yeah, the Ravens defense is ranked high, but they haven't really played any quarterback of note. They played Stroud and Burrow and Minshew and Pickett and who else? Just not some great quarterbacks so far this year.
No, not really. But I mean, they're a team that always plays pretty damn good defense. My concern, if I'm a Ravens fan, is the offense going up against the Lions defense. Their running game hasn't been great this year to begin with, and going up against, one of the top 2 or 3 rush defenses that the Lions bring to the table, they're going to have to rely on Lamar. The way to beat Detroit is through the air, but we do get Brian Branch back. So I think it's going to be a lower scoring game for sure. What's the total on that? 43. I would probably lean under on that.
Yeah. It could have, yeah, but or the Lions could be real explosive and take them out.
It's possible. I guess a lot of shit could happen, right?
It is. It's a different Lions team, man.
Yeah. You guys notice Ramey isn't here with us today. He has the pleasure of going to the Colts-Browns game as he's a Colts fan. So he's going to get to see his squad get crushed by that defense.
Right.
But at least he'll be in the suite.
That's an under you guys could take as well. I think that was Ramey's lock of the week. But that's a good under. I think it's 40 still.
40.5 right now, according to Caesars.
DraftKings says 40. Which is what we pretty much go by. Jeez. Tonight's game. Man, that's going to be great. 52.5. It's at DraftKings right now.
Keeps climbing. When I looked earlier in the week when we were getting ready for Thursday's episode, it was 51.5. And then like 20 minutes later, it went to 52. Now it's at 52.5. And even then I said I was comfortable going over 52. If I'm going to go over 52, I'll go over 52.5. Obviously, you lose the push, but I got to get my DFS lineups going.
Yeah, I already did all that before because,
Well, what do you want? A cookie?
well, I like to be prepared as much as I can. Let's see. Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams is out. No, Humphrey is active.
Is he?
Yep.
What a loser.
Well, I mean, that's how it's going to be.
Just go be sick.
Right. Nothing's always easy. Nothing's easy. As well. Yeah, if you're doing some DFS lineup, I had some luck putting some together with Sam Howell as the quarterback this week. Kind of nice. Got to spend a little extra money on some skill positions there. I really liked
5,500.
I did for DFS. Yeah. Yep.
And at that price, you don't really need a whole lot from him to return value. So,
no, if he gets you 15, that's great. I think he averages. Hold on,
18.4 on DraftKings. Yep. So I mean, his average gives you value.
Let's see. Yeah, and he's 5-1 for TD to interception ratio in the last 2 games, so maybe he's come with that. But let's see, 17.3. No, the Giants allow 17.3 to fantasy points to QBs per game. And yeah, they're horrible. They're 28th in points allowed to running backs at 20. Passing or wide receivers, they give up 22-6. They're just the Giants defense is not that great. They're 27th in yards allowed, 16th in pass yards allowed, and 31st in rush yards allowed. This is a Brian Robinson game too.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, for sure. 100%.
So, but I like Sam Howell to get 15, at least 15 this week in DFS on DraftKings. But you're able to get some pretty decent players with them. I think I had ARSB and Puka and oh geez, who else did I have? Lockett, I think.
Yeah, he's going to be chalky.
Yeah.
This feels like a Lockett game this week too. Just it seems like once a month he has that game where he goes for 102 touchdowns out of nowhere.
Yeah, and with Metcalf being game time decision with he's got a couple injury, ribs and something else. He's not going to be 100%. So yeah, it could be a Lockett game.
I think they're going to ride Ken Walker too.
You'd be smart.
That whole Seattle offense is well. I mean, I would have no problem stacking Geno Lockett and Ken Walker in a GPP. I think that'll be fairly chalky though, especially Walker.
Yeah, it's a strong play though too. What was the other one I was looking at earlier? I thought was decent. Hold on.
Speaking of the Colts Browns game, Jerome Ford, if you got him, fire him up.
Oh God, yes.
Deshaun Watson's supposed to play. If you have Amari Cooper, fire him up. The Colts are very, very weak on the outside. From a Colts perspective, I mean, there's a good chance you're in a position where you have to play Michael Pittman or you have to play, Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss. I mean, he's getting work out of the backfield and he had a hell of a game against Baltimore in Baltimore a few weeks back.
Yeah.
So, he's shown he can do some things against some of the better defenses in the league. And the Colts normally do have a pretty good rush defense themselves, but they had that, I forget his name, that cat that got popped for PEDs.
Yeah. Hey, Jay, how you doing? Good morning. Mike Evans or Terry McLaurin? I like Mike.
I'm going to go the opposite. Atlanta plays a lot of man coverage, which is bad for Mike Evans. He does better against zone defenses, and the Giants are just
Yeah, we just got done talking about
disheveled.
how bad the Giants were.
Yeah, I go with Terry McLaurin.
You're right. I changed my vote. I feel dumb now. First instinct was just Mike Evans, and I don't know why I said that with all the Giants stuff I just gave up. Just McLaurin just hasn't shown up yet, and looks like Curtis Samuel's getting a lot of the targets. I have him in a couple DFS lineups for today as well. I like him as in that. And he's cheap.
The targets are spread around pretty evenly there in Washington between McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, and Curtis Samuel, but McLaurin is leading the way. And if one of those three is going to get a touchdown, I would bet on it being McLaurin.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate the question. If you haven't already, please give us a like and subscribe. Any more questions you got, just fire them away, guys.
Yeah, it's that time. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
You know, after this week, we'll be halfway through the fantasy regular season, most likely. If you've got a winning record or you're 500, congratulations. If you're 2-4, you're not out of it by any stretch. Keep hustling, keep working the waivers, keep doing what you can do to try and improve your team. Even if you're 1-5, you're still not out of it. You've definitely got some work to do, and you're not a favorite to make the playoffs. But if you can go 1-5, there's no reason why you can't go 5-1 if you make the right moves. So keep at it. If you're 0-6, hey man, it sucks, but hopefully you've got some friends in a league that you can play spoiler to and keep their ass out of the playoffs or keep them from getting a bye, something like that.
Or if you're in a dynasty, prove your team for next year.
That's it. Keep moving forward.
Yep. Try get rid of some assets that you're comfortable with losing and hopefully get some nice return for them to use for next season. Because and Matt said it before with Dynasty, you know, you never really know how long these leagues are going to stay open or last or whatever. So it's like you think about this season and next season only.
Yep, that's it.
You never know. You never know when a league's going to fold.
And don't overvalue your draft picks. Because if you're picking at the end of the rookie draft, like I usually am, sometimes it's sometimes there's slim pickings there. Did you see Bill Belichick quietly signed an extension in the offseason? Reports come out about that about 45 minutes ago. So you'd heard rumblings. Oh, they're going to get rid of Belichick. Probably friggin' not. New England's defense has played solid this season, and the Bills are in town today. Something interesting, Josh Allen, I think, is the second highest priced quarterback on DraftKings. He's $8,200, but over his last 4 starts in Green Bay, he's averaging 266 in New England, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 40 rushing yards, which on DraftKings gets you to, I think, 26 points, which when you have a player that expensive, you absolutely need them to hit value.
Super CNB challengers. Hold up, brother. Super CNB challengers with DK possibly out or limited. What can I do? I have him in 2 leagues. Can I start McLaurin over him in 1 league and London in the other? Both play at 12. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, you're in the central. Draft DK plays at 3, so may not. Yeah, I'm in that situation in a league as well. I have no better options. I picked up Tutu Atwell in my league. That is all that was available to me in that 4:00 window. It's tough. What do you think, Matt?
DK has never. I don't think DK's missed a game yet in his career, so I do think he's going to play ultimately. I think I would start London over DK. I mean, given the injury and whatnot, and I think
it's a PPR.
I think Seattle is going to beat Arizona quite easily today. McLaurin, I think, is a really, really good start. I think all of them are in the wide receiver 2 range this week. The way to beat Tampa is through the air. London has really been coming on the past couple weeks. McLaurin is steady Eddie, and he has been the entire time he's been in the league. It's a PPR.
Yeah, London then. I think you're right.
Yeah, London for sure. McLaurin, I'm hesitating, but yeah, I would say McLaurin over DK2, just given the injury.
Yeah. I have some buy issues in that league. So like I said, I picked up a receiver Atwell for that 4:00 window because I think he is going to play, and I'm going to start a 85% Metcalf over my other crappier options.
And hip injuries can be tricky too.
Sure can. And well, it's hip and rib. He's been
Right.
dealing with the rib for the last month or 3 weeks, but you know how painful those can be just to breathe sometimes, let alone take an NFL hit from a safety. Great question, Super CMB.
Appreciate you coming back. I remember you from a couple weeks ago.
Right. Yep. I was just
good luck today.
I think that was maybe our week 6 preview episode, a Thursday. Yeah. Appreciate you, man. You're welcome.
Back to the Bills and Patriots, though. The Patriots have absolutely shut down number one receivers this year. So, I mean, obviously, you're not going to bench Stephon Diggs, but just maybe dial back your expectations. I do think Gabe Davis is a good start today, though. They have been just absolutely gashed by the secondary receivers this year. And like I was mentioning there just a moment ago, Josh Allen's done pretty damn well playing up there in Foxborough. Lat Murray's a guy who you can start if you need to. You're hoping for a touchdown. Guy's 31 years old. He's been around forever in a way. I was listening earlier to RotoWire, and they were saying that he kind of reminds of Frank Gore, some guy who just keeps hanging on and hanging on. Nobody really ever thinks of Lat Murray as an awesome running back, but the guy's only ever averaged under 4 yards a carry for one season in his career, and he's been around forever. So he's doing something right. Effective at the goal line. He can catch the ball. I'm not thrilled about starting him, but just given the buys and everything, it's hope for a touchdown. But that does eat into James Cooks' value. I know if you got him, you've been disappointed on the return that you're getting, especially, where you had to draft him. On a Patriots side, the Bills' run defense is middling. They're all right. That defense has just been ravaged by injuries this year. Ramondre's a decent play. Fire him up if you got him. Maybe Zeke. As far as the passing game, I don't really want to mess with any of it if I don't have to. But, there's weeks like this week where sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So
Ramondre's been so disappointing. Everybody on the Patriots has. I'm sitting him this week, I believe, in a league because I just can't take it anymore.
Fed up, are you?
Yeah, I'm sitting him this week in favor of Brian Robinson Jr. and Jesus. I'm going with Foreman. I'm just so disgusted with Ramondre. I just can't do it against Buffalo. Poor Rashawn Johnson. Jesus, boy. He's been in that concussion protocol a long time. I hope he's all right. I'd like to see him play again.
Concussions are nothing to mess around with, man.
No, they're serious. I'm just like I was saying, man, it's been a while for him. Most guys are usually out a week or whatever. He's been out 2 now, and hope he's good. Hope he can continue to heal and get better and play. I think he's going to be a great running back over the next 3 years in the NFL, and just needs to get his chance. Needs to get on the field. Can Goff do what he did last week on the road against the Ravens?
I think
so.
He
did against Tampa Bay last week, where the running game wasn't working very well, and with Monty out, that's a great possibility that could happen. It'd be a good test for him again. It's nice to see him win on the road like that when his home road splits are pretty much definitely favored for Ford Field games.
Yeah, and there's, the narrative about road Jared Goff and the Ravens and Buccaneers are two different tier of team. The Ravens are only giving up 4.5 yards per attempt in the passing game, but it's not like they've just faced um, a murderer's row of great quarterbacks this year. Um, I think they can. Ben Johnson is, one of the top 5 play callers in the league, in my opinion. He knows how to get guys open. He knows how to scheme them open. And they run so many plays from just multiple formations. They do a great job of incorporating pre-snap motion. And you can tell that Ben Johnson and Jared Goff really have a connection, and they're sharing a brain a lot of times, and the offense and plays that he calls really cater to Goff's strengths.
Yeah.
Getting J-Mo back opens up a new dimension to the offense because now they have a legit, can take the top off the defense kind of player on the outside. I think Goff's going to be good today. I think if you get 250-2, you're happy. And I
Oh,
think
absolutely.
that's a reasonable expectation. The big question mark coming in today is what are they going to get out of Gibbs? I think he's going to get the
Yeah.
lion's share of the carries again. Reynolds is going to help.
No pun
obviously.
intended there.
No pun intended.
The lion's share.
And for as small as he is, he's a damn powerful runner.
He is. And I think Dan Campbell said, it's kind of, he's coming back. He's going to play. They'd like to be able to ease him in, but they really need him this week, is what he said. So we'll see. You're going to see some Craig Reynolds too. Take some runs up the middle, and he can break something open. He had that great block last week again. What a team guy. Great player. Glad they signed him again.
That's a Hall of Fame block right there. That was
very
great.
Nice to just come like completely out of the play, way behind, from the line of scrimmage, and just blast your way up, and great. And you're right. I think the Lions defense is going to shut down the run game for the Ravens, and it's going to be the same thing. Can Lamar beat the Lions himself, or with Zay Flowers?
We'll see. I mean, this offense is not tailored to Lamar's strengths based on what I've seen. I mean, the offense has not looked great on the whole. They've won games, and that's what you need to do, but that Ravens offense doesn't scare me.
Yeah. Another report out this morning that it's definitely looking like Christian McCaffrey's going to play.
Yep. Debo's out for a couple weeks.
Yep. So, bummer. I really wanted to unleash Elijah Mitchell. Hope that he had a good game. I like Pacheco this week too, as well. I think he's going to have a good game there against the Chargers because he's just been such a good receiving back this season.
Yeah, he has. And he's really, you can tell he's taken over that backfield there. Right now, based on the scoring in our dynasty league, he's the running back 13, which I think that was kind of on the high end of the range of outcomes that people were expecting. I think a lot of people were thinking of him as like a mid RB2. That's kind of where, I was projecting him for the season. But I mean, if he can sneak his way into the top 12, I'm a happy camper. Yeah. And that Kansas City offense just looks different this year. It looks okay. Just it doesn't look right.
Yeah, it's a little different. I think it got a little derailed there when they lost to the Lions week 1. No Kelsey, had to get up and going, and no wide receiver that's really claimed the overall number 1 spot in that wide receiver room for Kansas City. And their defense has just done so well as to keep them in. They're playing well. Nobody really talks about the Kansas City defense too much. I know Ramey did the other day. But they've been playing very well as a group. I feel bad for Tyson Badgett today.
I mean, I imagine he'll be out of the league after this year. He is the all-time leading passer in like NCAA Division II history or something like that, which, congratulations.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hell of an accomplishment,
Sure.
but I'm not
Sure it is.
expecting a boatload out of him. I'm just putting together my last DraftKings lineup here.
Struggling.
Trying
Doesn't
to
work.
figure
Doesn't
out.
matter. Doesn't matter. You're not going to win.
Appreciate your support and your confidence in me.
Well, we're both 1-5 in our weekly DFS.
Yeah,
so
but that
far. So Ramey's doing well. Lucky guy.
There we go. I'll run that correlation.
Let's see. Hold on.
What do you say we put together a little same game parlay for the Lions?
All right. Live on Tinker Tie. I'm so lucky that, or I'm so happy that one hit. I bet the plus 300 for the Lions, Michigan defense or special team to score a touchdown, and Samford still had that 70-yard interception return, and
yeah,
won me a little money. It's like that.
Good old two-factor authentication.
I'm just gonna opt into all the cool, coupons specials. Is there no sweat
free
deals?
bet shit? I love it when you get the free bet back when you lose because I lose.
Yeah. Get plus 200 odds surge on the first tight end to score Sunday.
No,
not doing that. No sweat. Heck yeah.
All right. This DK social thing is stupid. I don't give a shit what this guy bet.
Oh, sorry. Avery, how you doing, man? Wilson or Watson start?
In a PPR.
Which hold on.
Which Wilson?
That's what I'm trying to do. Aren't the
Garrett Wilson is on bye.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jets are on a bye, so all I can think of is Russell Wilson, but that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael Wilson. Rookie
Michael
for
Wilson.
the Cardinals. Yep. Probably going to be throwing a lot. I think they're going to be behind. Oh, and I totally went the wrong. We were totally wrong. And since you put PPR, Avery, I thought you were talking about receivers. So it's Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson.
Oh. I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson.
Way.
Russell Wilson is just, yeah. I'm going to go with Watson. Russell Wilson is just screwed up. He is not a great fit for that offense, and Sean Payton is not doing him any favors there either with the plays that he's calling. No worries, Avery. Deshaun Watson, yeah, it's his first game back from injury, but the Colts are pretty damn weak on the outside. They've got a solid, if unspectacular, run game to utilize as well. I don't think either option is a really great start this week, but of the two, I'd go with Watson.
Yeah, I don't. I think Green Bay's been pretty tough against quarterbacks, so I don't like it. I'd go Watson as well. Yeah, I'd be sifting through the waiver wire before I considered starting Russell Wilson. So I'd go with Deshaun Wilson.
You're welcome, Avery. Thanks for popping in and chatting with us.
Appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, Avery, please do. Griff. So I dropped Elijah Moore for Russ Wilson with Dak on bye. Should I pick up Moore again and drop Josh Downs? I got a weird team.
See that. For
So
me,
they're starting
Elijah
around
Moore and Josh
16.
Downs are a wash.
Yeah.
I think they're roughly the same player. I would hang on to Downs. If you have to start Russ, you have to start Russ, and we've all been in those situations before. But yeah, when it comes to Elijah Moore and Josh Downs, it's a coin flip for me. I don't think one is demonstrably better or worse than the other.
Yeah. Great question, Griff.
Squirt gun to my head, rest of season, I would take Josh Downs.
Yeah. Especially, I think, with Minshew there, because he's obviously going to throw the ball more than because his running ability is nowhere near what AR has. So I agree with that.
Thanks for popping in, Griff. If you haven't already, please give us a subscribe and a like. What the hell are we doing?
Yeah, we were building a same game parlay.
That's right.
Which, whatever, we can hold off on that. If anybody's got more questions, we'll always kind of just stop what we're doing and take your questions, as soon as we see them. Mostly.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we're also on social media as well. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We're Stoned On Sports Podcast. And on Twitter/X, we're Stoned On Sports 1. Be able to check us out there as well. Give us a like. All right. That's not what I want. Are you using your two screens, Matt?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Keep an eye on the chat for a second.
No problem. I actually just got an offline message from Brandon. You guys are really ugly on my TV. Thanks, dude.
Well, hey, yeah, appreciate that. Go Blue.
Ugly in real life, too.
Right.
It's not just the TV.
Maybe it's your TV, or maybe it's the inch of dust on your TV screen that you need to clean. Chris Bork, how you doing, man? Good afternoon on this beautiful Sunday. Darrell Henderson or Jahan Dotson PPR flex play?
Damn. I'm hesitant to start Dotson at all. He's getting targets, but he's doing jack shit with them. Henderson, I mean, they just got him from off of his couch. He's there because he knows the offense, but I can't imagine he's going to get a huge workload. I don't think the Rams are going to run much today to begin with.
And I think Royce Freeman will probably get the majority of the snaps over Henderson. I think they'll be pretty close to a split, but I think Freeman gets 5 or 6 more. Jahan Dotson's not a bad one just because how bad the Giants suck. So they're 23rd in the league. Yeah, 23rd in the league in points allowed to wide receivers at 22-6. That defense is just not great. Sam Howell's been looking better. I go with Dotson just because I sent Kyle the same picture and message. Oh, well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with Dotson.
Yep. Great question, Chris. Love the last name. Who's that great NHL player?
Ray Bork.
Ray Bork. Oh, my God. He was so good. Speaking of hockey, the Red Wings, I realize it's only the first week of the season. Looking good. Scoring a lot of goals a game, too.
I'll take it.
DeBrinket's I think he's already got 4 goals this season.
About damn time. They went like our entire life without missing the playoffs, and then they sucked for a while.
Well, you must trust the Iser plan. Chris, if you haven't already, please give us a like and subscribe. Any more questions, just let us know. I was wondering if Brandon would join today because it's Sunday and he's not having to make the pizza till this afternoon. Almost came and got pizza from you yesterday, buddy, but I I went with Taboon instead because I wanted that more.
Taboon is good.
Oh, I got plenty of bread and tomb too. Hey, Chris, another question. T-Law or Stroud rest of season? I think Houston's schedule is much better than Jacksonville's.
Trevor Lawrence has looked all right. I mean, he's not been what you've drafted him for, and Stroud has been a surprise for sure.
Yeah, I like Stroud rest of the season just because of the schedule. Houston's got Carolina, Tampa Bay, Cincy, Arizona, Jacksonville, Denver, the Jets, the Titans, Cleveland, the Titans again, and the Colts. Not a lot of toughness in there. No big teams, really. Unless you want to count Jacksonville and Cincinnati. Cincinnati's just not the same as the last couple of years.
That's not a defense I'm afraid of either.
And
I'm going to
Jacksonville's. Yeah.
I would say Lawrence, but I'm not married to it. And it would not be difficult to sway me over to the Stroud side. Jacksonville passes a little bit more than what Houston does, just overall in their offense. I'd like.
What are you Houston throws the ball when they're up. It's crazy to see sometimes. I said Houston throws the ball when they're up.
Yeah.
They throw a lot. He's been throwing quite a bit.
They do. I mean, it's a good problem to have. Neither one of them are a high-end QB1. But at the same time, you know, you could also do a hell of a lot worse than either one. I'm going to go with T-Law, but it's not by a lot. Because you are going to see regression too with Stroud with the interceptions. I think he's only thrown one so far. And, you know, I don't give a shit how good you are. The man's still a rookie quarterback in the National Football League. He's not going to roll through the season with 3 picks.
Yeah. And, you know, it's got the talent around him. Stroud is not as great as what Trevor has around him. There's some great pieces there in Houston. Don't get me wrong with Nico and Tank Dell and stuff, but the running backs haven't looked super great. Pierce has been underwhelming, and Singletary's starting to really eat into his snap share. Let's see. Tyler, thanks for the question, man. Need 2 of 3 this week to start in PPR. DK, Christian Watson, and Moss. I just don't like anybody. I just really don't like anybody in that Colts Browns game. It's tough if you got to. And your big issue there is, you know, DK's a 425 game. So if you wait and he doesn't end up suiting up, you're screwed. I think we've already talked about, we liked Christian Watson. The Denver defense is giving up a lot of points to wide receivers. Well, to every position group, really. They're more middle of the pack against wide receivers, but I still like C-Watt and DK in this. I think DK will suit up.
Given it's a PPR, I think DK is going to play as well. I'm going to go with DK and Moss. I think Indy is going to be down for a good portion of the second half. And Moss has been getting a lot of work out of the backfield as the Colts ease in Jonathan Taylor. I think this could be a game where Zach Moss ends up with maybe 6 grabs for 30 yards, 35 yards. He's going to get some run in the backfield as well. He's still scoring touchdowns. So, I'm going to go with DK and Moss.
Tyler's followed up. You have JSN. Is he available in your league, or you have him as well? He wants to know if he's a solid start instead of DK. I mean, I would think so if he's inactive. I mean, if you have that ability, and you have him on your bench, I might roll with that.
Yeah, for sure. If DK's out, JSN's a really good backup there. Start him with
Absolutely.
confidence.
Yep, absolutely. Same question. Thanks, Tyler. Great question. Yeah, if you got JSN, I'd start him. If you haven't subscribed yet, what's up? You good?
Yeah,
Why are you
Brandon's
sighing?
little offhand comment there.
Oh, I don't pay attention to what Brandon says.
Chris has another question now.
He does. That's what I'm trying to get to. How about Jahan Dotson or Musgrave's PPR flex play? Yeah, the Denver defense is number 1 in points to tight ends, I believe.
Yep, they are. I'm starting
I
Musgrave.
have Musgrave in
I think this is a bounce back game for him and a get right game for Green Bay, at least on the offensive side of the ball.
Yep. They the tight end Broncos give up tight ends an average of 6 receptions for 75 yards and half a touchdown, averaging 10 points. So if you can get 10 in a week 7 heavy bye, I'd do that for sure. Musgrave. I think I have him in a DFS lineup this week too that I liked.
As do I.
But we've touched on how bad the Giants defense is as well. Oh, man. Great question. Thanks, guys. Any more? Just let us know.
I'll take my medicine. Yes, Brandon, you beat me last week in the podcast league. Savor that feeling. I do understand it's one of the highlights of your life. So, maybe take a screenshot of it, print it out, put it in a frame, put it in a locket, and wear it in a necklace around your, well, you don't really have a neck, but still. Love you, buddy.
Wow.
Let's go, Lions.
I thought that's a good one. Whew, a locket shaped like a pizza that he opens up. There's a pepperoni in it.
Chris is back in his second league. I'm between Jahan Dotson and Elijah Moore. What do y'all think?
Dotson. What do we really know about Deshaun Watson playing well? It just hasn't looked good. Now I don't know. I still lean towards Dotson because, again, that Giants defense is 23rd in the league in points to wide receivers.
Yeah, I agree. If I'm starting a wide receiver from Cleveland, I want it to be Amari Cooper. Elijah Moore gets a few targets. I like Jahan Dotson's matchup a little bit better, and this week that's the tiebreaker for me. So I'm with you on Dotson there.
Thanks, Chris. Another great question.
Yeah, we appreciate
How many leagues you got, Chris? I think each of us are in 3 leagues.
Yep.
Which with a sports podcast and 3 leagues, that's enough. And some DFS
for this year.
Yeah, for this year. I would like to get into some crazy,
guillotine. And we'll get a guillotine league. I don't really do much best ball. I've done a couple of those. I'd like to get into that a little bit more. Let's get building this damn same game parlay.
All right, give it a shot.
While we wait and see if anyone has any questions. So I'm on the Detroit Lions and Baltimore Ravens game. I think it's going to be a close game. Right now, the line is sitting at Detroit +3 here on DraftKings. What the shit? Oh, I'm going to go with an alternate spread, though, to start off. And I'm going to go with the Lions +7.5. And
I like that.
And now I'm going to head on over to the receiving props. And there's a guy from the Detroit Lions named Amon-Ra St. Brown who gets fed every time he's on the field.
6.5.
I don't like that number. But yeah.
He's going to get 12 or 13 targets today. If he can't catch half of those, I'd shit a brick.
All right. Well,
over
let's see
6.5 receptions.
I'm going to go with that. Over 6.5. That gets us to plus 168.
If we throw another leg or two, we can.
And I'm going to go Alex Anzalone over 4.5
Ooh.
tackles.
Guy's been a top 10 linebacker this season.
Yep.
We trashed him a lot his first couple seasons, and he has definitely gotten better. Definitely.
He has. In this year,
his instincts and stuff have gotten way better.
Yeah. It seems in years past, he just didn't really trust what his eyes were showing him. Yeah. And he's really worked on that, and he's playing a lot more instinctive football. What's wrong?
It's really fun, folks. Oh, it's really fun when you close out of your browser with all your stuff.
Oh, you idiot.
There it is. Oh, it's going to make me log back in again.
All right.
I tell you, DraftKings got some ultimate security. So just the 3 legs, and what we get this boost.
Yep, just a 3-leg, and with they've got a stepped up parlay bonus today that takes it up to plus 528.
I like it. Throw a unit on it, folks.
Boom, done. That'll work.
Even though, well, shoot, I say we do a parlay for Sunday night, but I always like to wait a little bit before kickoff or at 90 minutes to kick off.
It gives us something to look forward to. How are you feeling about Josh Palmer today?
Good. I really liked what he did last week. He was, Jesus, how many targets did he have? I know all my stuff closed. I like him this week just because of the total in that. It should be a pretty high total there at Arrowhead. I mentioned earlier they've 51 points or more in the last 5 meetings with these teams. So I like him this week just for volume. It's a number 2 guy there behind Keenan Allen. I'm doing well. What do you have for targets last week?
In his last 3 games, he's had 7, 8, and 7 targets. He's stepped into that Mike Williams role in the offense. They're using him more down the field. And he's had success in the past when there's been an injury to either Mike Williams or Keenan Allen.
Hey, Domo, how you doing today? Gus Edwards or Henderson, half PPR? I'm going with Gus Edwards just because, like Matt mentioned about 10 minutes ago, Darrell Henderson was sitting at home playing with his kids or whatnot on the couch. Yeah, he knows the offense, but is he, game shape ready? Again, it's been reported that Freeman's likely to get more snaps than Henderson. And, I like Gus. I don't like Gus against the Lions defense this week, but if I had to choose one squirt gun to the head, I go with Gus the Bus.
Yeah. I mean, neither is a good option, but, we're in that time of year. For me, I'm going to take Henderson. I get it. He's just come off the street. The Ravens rush offense has already looked not so great this year, and going up against Detroit's run defense, that's really the strength of their defense. The way to beat that Detroit defense is through the air. I think Gus is going to get the volume, but I don't think he's really going to do much with it. I think Henderson has a pretty good chance to be more efficient on a per carry basis, so he may get fewer carries, but I think the yardage will be roughly the same. But it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I'll go with Henderson just in the better matchup.
Yeah.
And
so the Steelers are, and the
looks
Steelers,
like you're back to square one, Domo. Sorry about that.
The Steelers, if you want to look at it a different way as well, are 29th in the league in rush allowed per game and 143.8 yards allowed per game. So they're horrible, but Yeah. I don't like it this week.
I don't think LA is going to be running a whole lot this week anyway.
No,
I mean, Matthew Stafford got his boy back. So
he's on pace for his arm to fall off this season. Yeah, I agree. They are going to pass. And when you got two receivers there with Kupp and Puka Nacua each getting, double-digit targets, that tells you they're just going to throw. I think after they traded Akers, that told me they were just going to throw all season.
Pretty much. I mean, and Akers was nothing special to begin with, but you can tell the team was high on Kyron Williams, and there was, rumblings about him last year too. Thanks for the question, Domo. If you haven't already, shoot us a like and subscribe. Thanks for stopping in to chat with us. If you have any more questions, just pop them there in the chat. We'll get them taken care of for you.
Excellent stuff. Good questions, guys. Like I said, this is what we're here for. Help you guys kind of make sense of some decisions and with your, in respect to your lineups. We also like talking sports betting as too, if you guys got any questions about that. We're into sports 100%. Yeah, the Lions give up 64-7 rush yards a per game. They are number one in the league. God, so great to say that.
It's not something I thought we'd be saying coming into the season too. So,
Yep. I'd like to see the Lions get they're only +2 on turnover differential, which is good. I mean, that's the goal, to be plus, but they've had 8 takeaways versus 6 giveaways. Some of the top teams out there are up to 12, 13. Jacksonville's at 16. Of course, they've already played their week 7 game, but I see a nice Lions defensive turnover in this game.
See, now you're just getting cocky with that after last.
I'm going to call I'm going to call a strip sack there. I don't know who. I'd like to say Hutchinson, but I say there's a strip sack fumble return. Not necessarily for a touchdown, but
just somebody. Let's see here. What else is going on today? We beat the shit out of the Giants pretty much this whole morning, which it's their own damn fault.
Hey, Domo, what you got there? This past week, I traded away Calvin Ridley, Higbee, Josh Downs, Tyler Boyd, and Charbonnet for Kittle, Waddle, Gus, and Georgie Pickens. Thoughts? Currently 5-1. Jeez, just staring at that right now, I like it better.
Well, let's break it down
because you got Waddle, but I think Kittle's an upgrade on Higbee, right? Even though Kittle's back and forth each week.
Yep. Waddle's so you got the best player in the trade in Jalen Waddle. Calvin Ridley, I've not been high on all year. George Pickens, if he was in even just a slightly more competent offense, would be a low end wide receiver 1, high end receiver 2. But Matt Canada is in a speed run to just create the worst offense in football, and Brian Ferentz is right on his tail. I like that trade for you. Gus, he's not amazing, but that he gets consistent usage. Kittle's very, very inconsistent, but we knew that coming into the season. We knew it coming into last season. That's just who he is. And part of that inconsistency is because of how good of a blocker is. Charbonnet, I think, will come on as the season goes on. But right now he's not really worth a whole hell of a lot. He's not getting any volume. I think you definitely upgraded your team. Josh Downs and Tyler Boyd and Zach Charbonnet, those are all bench pieces. Pickett is startable. Gus is startable many weeks. And then, Waddle essentially Waddle and Kittle for Ridley and Downs. I'll take that all day long. So I think you did well there. I think you improved your team.
What I'm most impressed with is that you had the testicular fortitude to do that while being at 5-1, while a lot of guys are kind of more safer, they're at 5-1, they're not going to change a thing. They're happy. And sometimes that backfires. So balls, man. I like it.
It does. And one thing to keep in mind when people talk about trades, don't worry about winning the trade. Your main concern should be, does this make my team better? Did I trade from a position of strength to address a position of weakness? Don't worry about who wins the trade. I'm happy to lose a trade slightly, 60-40, something like that, if it makes my team better and makes me more competitive for the rest of the season.
Yep. I like how you've got, I like the Kittle thing. I think that's going to help you eventually here at the end of the year. But testicular fortitude. That's right, baby. That's right.
That is right.
But yeah, ballsy. I would have pulled the trigger too if somebody sent that to me. At 5-1. Just to get Waddle. That's huge. I realize Tyreek's the man there, but Waddle gets plenty of targets.
Holy shit. Are you me, Domo? Because I lost the same two dudes this year and was distraught. And in that league right now, I am still the highest scoring team. So same boat with you right there, man. Same boat. I was distraught after losing Chubb and then just lost my fucking mind for a minute and spent 99% of my fab budget on Jerome Ford. So I had to make sure I got him. I needed something, and everything was saying, hey, he's going to be the cat going forward. So fuck it.
I think you could still have $70 left and thrown $30 on him and still won him.
Well, and
but hey,
somebody would have threw $31 on him. Yeah, always cuff my hero. Well, I screwed the pooch there and didn't, Domo. So maybe you should be the one hosting this damn show instead of me, because I screwed up there. But that's great advice. If you're going hero RB, get that handcuff. If there is a clear-cut handcuff. Now, if it's a messy backfield, that's a little bit different. Let's see here. Nice. You want to build a lineup on DK? We'll build one together. Let me just find some little cheap ass contest.
Do it up.
All right.
Main slate?
Yep. What the hell is it doing? Checking location.
Yeah, it likes to do that sometimes.
Stop being a pain in my ass, DK. All right. So who you like at quarterback? I know we're both kind of on Sam Howell. I like Josh Allen today. He's expensive, but he always does well in New England. And right now, the Bills are a team that need to win to keep pace with the Dolphins. They're a game back. The Dolphins have a rough matchup this evening. I kind of like Miami today, but what the hell do I know?
That game's going to be points galore, I think.
That's going to be a fun game.
Where the hell is my... There it is.
Oh, this is early only.
Yeah, with Howell, I like Pacheco at 6,100 at running back.
Yeah, Pacheco is a good pick today.
I kind of like Keenan Allen today too. For a big name receiver, he's 8,600 though. Hey, that's probably too much.
Keenan Allen.
How about Gabe Davis?
I like that stack.
Wasn't there about?
I'll put in Gabe Davis.
Wasn't something there we're talking about the other day about wide receiver twos at New England doing well?
Yes. New England has shut down wide receiver ones game after game after game this season, but the wide receiver two, they're like 29th in the NFL.
Yeah, throw Gabe Davis on that he's cheap, 5,900.
Yep. Tight end.
I'll let you pick a couple now.
I'm going to go with Mandrews. We've talked quite a bit this morning. The way to beat Detroit is through the air. So you're not going to get.
And he's only $5,700. I mean, you're not going to. There's no sense in spending $8,000 on Kelsey, even though I think he's probably going to have an outstanding performance today.
If I went with Mahomes, I'd probably give him Kelsey.
Sure.
Wide receiver two. I want exposure to that, some more exposure to Kansas City and the Chargers, but I've got Josh Palmer in another lineup. So just for exposure's sake, I'm going to go with Keenan Allen. He's expensive at 8,600, but that means we're going cheap at defense. The Lions are sitting there at 2,700, which is perfect. I need a cheap ass running back. Keenan Allen's too much. I ain't gonna make that fit. Fuck me to tears.
You can.
It doesn't fit. That's what she said.
Oh no, it won't because of Mandrews is so much more.
Yep.
How about Brian Robinson?
I'm coming off of him. Say what?
How about Brian Robinson Jr. for 5,800 for a cheap running back?
That'll work. Pacheco and Brian Robinson. That's going to be Chalky McChalkerson, but
hey,
I don't care. Michael Mayer.
Anybody?
I think is a good option up tight.
Anybody in the audience there got a good idea for a DFS play this week?
Yeah, I'll crowdsource something.
Heck yeah!
I think Dubs is a good play this week. Plug his ass in. Receiver. 68.50 average remaining per player. I need a wide receiver and a flex.
How about Jacoby Myers? He's 6,200 against the Bears. Wow.
So I got Michael Mayer in at tight end.
Oh, okay. Never mind. How much is Mayer
compared
not looking
to double up there? Mayer is 2,700.
Oh yeah, Musgrave is 33. All right. Hold on.
You know what? I've been talking about him quite a bit this morning. I'm going to go with Amari Cooper at wide receiver for $6,100. That leaves me 7,600 left.
For a flex?
For my
Puka?
For flex.
Puka? Puka's right on the nose.
He's
going to get double-digit targets.
I don't like Puka. You know what? I'm going to go
Cooper.
Ken Walker.
Kip says Cooper says Ken Walker, running back at flex.
Yeah, I got Cooper in. Amari Cooper. I got him in at wide receiver.
Oh, okay.
Boom.
How much is Ken Walker? Right. 7,100.
Boom. All right, we'll give it another minute here, and if nobody else has any questions, we'll call her a wrap so we can make our final last-minute adjustments to our lineups before kickoff.
I'm not changing.
It's been fun this morning.
Absolutely. This is our inaugural Tinker Time show. I like getting on here in the morning here and chatting with some last-minute stuff because, yeah, a lot of stuff can happen between, our preview show on Thursday night to Sunday morning, and it's good to be able to talk about and help people out.
Abso-friggin-lutely.
God, I hope Metcalf plays.
Yeah. Which league do you have him in? You have him in Wade's league?
Yes, sir. Armchair GMs,
if you have him in Wade's league, I hope he doesn't play. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm playing you. We're both 3-3 in
That's
that
right.
league. You're 7th. I'm 8th. And yeah,
But see, here's what the
it has
important
you as
thing is.
it has you as the favorite right now in live projections, but you got 34 from Kamara on Thursday, and I haven't had anybody play yet, so I'm
Well,
just
of course,
not really too worried about it.
you haven't beaten me in a head-to-head seasonal fantasy football matchup in almost 2 years. So you need all the help you can get.
Well, I mean, I didn't win last year, and this is the second year, so there's plenty of time left. I know I whipped your ass in fantasy baseball this season a few times,
Yeah,
which
but
was fun.
we're talking about football right now. You're bringing up old shit in a league where you got to
Uh,
buy in the playoffs and then shit the
but I
bed. You didn't
I
even
really
like
love
use the bye
fantasy baseball.
correctly.
Yeah, no shit.
God,
Jason got hot at the right fucking time. Took me down.
oh well. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for the inaugural Tinker Time. It's been a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody who popped in here to hang out with us this morning. I wish you guys good luck this week in your matchups.
Absolutely.
We will be back here again Tuesday evening at 7:00 to talk about the week that was and how things went with our teams and in the podcast league and players of note, games of note, shit like that. Hopefully, we'll be talking about a 6-1 Detroit Lions team, which is a sentence I did not think I would be saying coming into the season, but I'll take it. Kyle, take us home.
Appreciate you guys interacting with us today, asking them questions. I think we had a lot of good information for you and some answers. A lot of tough ones too. It's just tough this time of year with 6 teams out on bye, and navigating some injuries and stuff. But yeah, we appreciate you guys stopping by. Again, want to thank all our listeners and subscribers. We couldn't do this without you guys. It's very exciting doing this type of stuff and answering live questions and interacting. Really love it. We'll see you guys Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for the recap of week 7. Thanks a lot. See you later.